Hello students. So in this second session of STEM, okay, in the second video of the STEM we will discuss about the STEM modifications, okay, and already in the previous video we have classified the STEM modifications into three groups: underground STEM modifications, subaerial STEM modifications, and aerial STEM modifications. Okay, now you can see these diagrams, and we are going to discuss about underground STEM modifications. Underground STEM modifications. Okay. In shortcut, I am using SM, that is STEM modifications. Okay, underground STEM modification. Okay, you just see in some plants, okay, the stem will remain in the ground. Actually, in the general characters, we said the stem is aerial part and it is ascending organ. But there are some plants where their stems remain in the ground and which will protect them from the herbivores. And not only that, these stems are protected from unfavorable conditions. Means what? They withstand unfavorable conditions. And one more character of these underground stems, they make these plants to survive for many years. So surviving for many years is called what? Perennation. Okay. And one more thing, what they do is that during unfavorable conditions, they make use of the food materials that they have stored during favorable conditions. So, not only that, they have one more ability of reproduction, that is vegetative reproduction. So, now you just see these underground stem modifications are helping in, okay, withstanding adverse conditions, withstand adverse conditions. That is one thing. And the underground stems help the plants to survive for many years, which is called perennation. So it helps in perennation. And the third one, okay, they help in the propagation also, that is vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation. And the vegetative propagating structures in all these underground stem modifications are nothing but axillary buds. So axillary buds will help in the formation of the daughter structures, or we can call them as what? The propagules. And one more thing, they are able to store food material. So storage of food materials. Storage of food material. So these underground stems, as they are performing many functions, are helping the plants in performing many functions. These are often described as multi-purpose stem modifications. Multi-purpose stem modifications. And here you can see some examples like what? The grasses, ginger plant, zameen kand plant, colocasia plant, and potato plant. All these plants are actually, they are herbs. And generally the herbs are with soft stems and they are capable of living for one season or two seasons. When they survive for one season, we call them as annuals, and when they live for 2 years, we call them as biennials. But one special feature of these plants with underground stems is that they can survive for many years. So that's why the plants with underground stems are not annuals or not biennials, they are perennials. So, and these underground stems in you will find among different plants, and they are of different types. Okay, and let us discuss the examples that are mentioned in our textbook, like what the grasses and also this strawberry, grasses and strawberry. And here I drew one diagram, and this is the diagram of a wild grass plant. And generally, you might have observed that these wild grasses will grow anywhere, and eliminating these wild grass is very difficult. Generally, some people will remove only the upper layer, upper portion, and they think that they have removed everything. But after few days only, again the new shoots will come out. That indicates that they have not only aerial part, there is one underground part. So that underground stem, you can see I have used black color here for the soil, and this is what underground runner. And this underground runner, okay, it technically called as sow ball, but this term is not there in the textbooks. And the sow ball, that is underground runner, is sow ball, and it will okay, will continuously grow from one niche to other niche, means what, one place to other place. And once it reaches the new place, the old portion will die and the new portion will survive. Like that new portion will grow, continue further, and after reaching a new area, then okay, again the old portion will die and the new portion will survive. That's what happens even in the case of what strawberry. With the help of the underground stem, that will move from one niche to other niche. That is what underground stem in grasses and strawberry. And now let us say the rhizome of ginger. And I think you are all familiar with ginger, and also the same type you will find in turmeric. Turmeric, and it is an underground stem which is dorsi-ventrally flattened stem. And this is the dorsal surface, and this is the ventral surface, and from the ventral surface you will find the roots coming out, which are adventitious roots. And we can identify this as stem due to presence of what, scale leaves. These are scale leaves. Scale leaves. So if you consider the place where the leaves originate as node, this becomes what, node, and this is another node, and this place between the two successive nodes is called what, internode. And nodes and internodes are present only in stems. So it is the stem, and it has axillary buds it is producing. You can see these are the axillary buds, and these axillary buds, okay, will grow into aerial shoots. Okay, I didn't do that one. I'm not showing that, but that will produce what, aerial shoot. And from the ventral surface, you can see these adventitious roots. So when you keep one small piece of the rhizome, that first will it will have the axillary bud, and it will produce what, aerial shoot. Okay, that aerial shoot will have the normal foliage leaves or green leaves, and it performs photosynthesis, and prepares the food material and supplies that food material to this small piece of rhizome, and as it gets the food supply, now it will grow. Means what? It will grow means what? Branches will be formed. So the small piece of rhizome, whether it is ginger rhizome or turmeric rhizome, will grow there. And again, the axillary buds will produce what? Shoots, aerial shoots. Okay, whenever these aerial shoots become, you see, yellowish in color, or that indicates that it is in senescent stage, then the farmer generally harvests these rhizomes. So, like that, when the farmer wants one more crop, then he will take the pieces of the rhizome. Okay, so that's what it is propagating. Another example, COM, CORM, COM, is a vertically growing underground stem. Vertically growing underground stem. You can see this is the vertically growing one, and this is also vertically growing. And this one is also having what? These scale leaves. Scale leaves. And you will find some adventitious roots here. Adventitious roots. And in addition to adventitious roots, you will find some long roots which are called pull roots. And I do one thing here. This is what the axillary bud that is developing into a daughter comb. Okay, these daughter combs are generally called as what? Cormels. Okay, and this will grow vertically. And whenever you can see that this is the aerial shoot that comes out, and this calm will remain in the same depth in the soil with the help of these pull roots. That means these pull roots will not allow this calm to go up. Or just remember that the daughter calms, if they are not harvested, they will they again produce one more daughter calm, and like that they may come out. But the pull roots will keep them in the same place. So like that, this is what in Hindi it is called as what? Zameen Kand. And another example for the calm is what? Colocasia, that is Aravi. Okay, and you can see that the one, and here from this aerial shoots are coming, and these are daughter calms. So the daughter calms help in what? Vegetative propagation. And now everyone is familiar with potato, but I'm not sure that all might have observed this potato plant. Potato plant will appear like this. Okay, so this is the potato plant. So it has a normal stem and branches with the leaves, and I'm showing even it is producing flowers. And remember that the underground part of the stem, okay, will produce some branches. These are underground branches. Underground branches. And these underground branches are also using the food material that is supplied by the aerial shoot. And the roots are having some function, but whereas these underground branches doesn't have any function, so most of the food is accumulating at their tips. And due to this accumulation, these tubers are formed that we call it as what? Stem tuber. And generally these potatoes are brown in color, and you may uh, you may mistake this stem tuber as a root. But what is the evidence to say that it is a stem? You will find some scale leaves over it. And when you remove that scale leaf, you will find a groove there, and in the groove you will find what? Axillary bud. So presence of scale leaves, nodes, internodes is the character of what? The stem. And of course, you know that these are called, they look like eyes, so that's why they are called eyes. and eyes represent the scale leaf along with the axillary bud. Okay, by the time this potato comes to the market, you won't find the scale leaves. Okay, and now these, whenever the farmer wants to cultivate this potato plant, what they will do, they take the tuber and they will cut into the pieces and they select the piece with at least one eye and they keep it in the ground, and that will sprout up into another new potato plant. And the same thing will repeat from the lower portion of that stem or underground part of the stem. So the branches will come out and they again produce what? Potatoes. These are what? Underground stem modifications. Okay. Now let us see these subaerial stem modifications. Subaerial stem modifications. Okay. So look at this one. These are what the terminology is not there, but I am using this word stolons, and these two are what suckers, and this is offset. Offset. Okay. Here you see the examples for the stolons are jasmine. Let us take this jasmine plant, and you see here it produces branches right from the base, and some weak stems will bend downwards, means what, arch down, and on touching the ground, okay, they again become what, straight, and the portion which is in contact with the ground, there what will develop, roots will develop, that is adventitious roots. Adventitious roots develop, and now this branch is called stolon. Okay, and this branch can become an independent plant once this okay, connection weakens and it gets destroyed. Or otherwise, suppose a person wants this plant to be separated, we will, what we will do, we sever it and we separate this one. Like that, these stolons are helping the plant in what? Okay, vegetative propagation. So, subaerial stem modifications also help in vegetative propagation. That point you have to understand. Subaerial stem modifications. And now, a similar thing you will find in the case of suckers, and the examples for the suckers are what? Mentha and this chrysanthemum. And also here I am showing another one, that is banana plant. And even this bentha and this chrysanthemum plant, so some portion of the stem, main stem, is underground. You can see this line, black colored line represents what? Soil level. And below that soil level, you will find the stem here, and from that stem, some branches will come out. So it is not aerial branch as we observed here in the case of stolon. Here it is what? Underground branch. It is growing obliquely in upward direction, and you can see I have used different colors. Means what? When the portion when it is in the ground, I have used brown color, and as soon as it comes out, okay, it became what? Green. And when it is in the ground, it will have scale leaves, but as soon as it is exposed, it produces normal foliage leaves or green leaves. And so this underground branch, which is becoming aerial and which has produced adventitious roots, will become what independent plant whenever it is separated from the parent plant. So the sucker is also helping in what vegetative propagation. Now let us come to this banana plant. Already the banana plant is having what rhizome, so which is horizontally growing, and that rhizome will have axillary buds, and those axillary buds will grow into what aerial shoots. Actually, this is the aerial shoot which you find in any banana garden. Okay, and you see how this one will come. So this exposed portion is called what sucker. So remember that this is the aerial shoot, and the stem like structure is not a two stem, it is pseudo stem, because this cylindrical structure is formed by the sheathing leaf bases. Okay, and the terminal bud of this sucker will produce what a inflorescence, and here I showed you a bunch of fruits. Okay, so and I hope you know that what farmers will do once this banana plant produces a bunch of fruits. They will harvest the fruit and they will cut down the entire shoot, aerial shoot. Then how again they get the plant? Don't forget when you observe in the field, so you'll find some sword-like structures coming out. They're what suckers. That's why they're also called as sword suckers. And suppose if anyone wants to cultivate this banana plant, and what has to be used? It is not simply the sucker. And if you take only sucker, only this portion, and if you sow it, it will not grow into a plant. So you have to take the sucker along with a part of rhizome. Okay, so that the rhizome will grow, and this one will grow into a aerial shoot, and by the time the aerial shoot is growing, even the rhizome at the base will also grow horizontally and will start producing new suckers. So that's what you have to understand in the case of banana. And now let us come to this offset. Offset is what you will find in the free floating hytophytes like pistia, which is commonly called as water lettuce. Water lettuce and Iconia, which is called as water hyacinth. Of course, you heard about the water hyacinth, which is called as terror of Bengal. It is a weed plant. Okay, so and you can see that I do this diagram of pistia plant here, and it has a condensed stem, and that has produced a rosette of leaves. Means what? The leaves are arranged like the petals of the rose. That is called rosette of leaves, a rosette arrangement of leaves. And you know that from every leaf will have an axil, and in the axil there is axillary bud, and that axillary bud has grown into a branch, a short branch, and again it has produced another rosette of leaves, and at the base it has got a tuft of roots. Okay, so you can see this short internode, because if you consider this as node and this becomes another node and this becomes what internode, this short internode terminating with a rosette of leaves and cluster of roots is called offset. So this is the offset. And suppose imagine that something has happened and this offset has been cut off, then what will happen to this one? That will become what independent. So again it will produce another offset. Like that, the plant will propagate very easily by producing all these offsets. That's why the water hyacinth can spread very fast on the surface of waters. That's why it is called terror of Bengal, and which will absorb all the oxygen from the water, and as a result of which the aquatic animals like fishes will die. Okay, so that is what about the subaerial stem modifications. And the next one is what aerial stem modifications. Okay, now let us discuss about these aerial stem modifications. Okay, tendril. What is this tendril? Okay, slender, slender, coiled, okay, sensitive, okay, structure that helps in the okay climbing of the plant. Which plants? Weak stemmed plants. Some weak stemmed plants they cannot stand straight, and they don't want to creep on the ground because they will not get sufficient light. That's why they hold the support and they climb up to expose their foliage or to expose their leaves. But how to hold this support? That's why their auxiliary birds or terminal birds are modified into these okay slender coiled okay watch spring like structures, which are very sensitive. That's what you have to understand. Means what? Whenever they come across with any object, they coil around it immediately. That's what they are sensitive. And here the examples are what gourds. Is what you heard about bitter gourd, okay, angular gourd, snake gourd, all these gourds which belong to Cucurbitaceae family. All of them they have produced what their auxiliary birds are modified into tendrils. And another example, grapevine. And in this plant, the terminal bird is modified into this tendril. So here, auxiliary bird, and in grapevine, terminal birds are modified into tendrils. Help them in climbing. And now, let us say we come across with some hard pointed structures, okay, and which will help some plants from browsing animals, not grazing, browsing animals. Means what? Some animals will eat the leaves of other plants, and those which are eating grasses are grazing animals, but those which are eating the leaves of other plants, okay, are called what browsing animals, and that is what thorn, browsing animals. And the examples are citrus and bougainvillea. And in both of them, the auxiliary bird is modified into tendril. Sorry, auxiliary bird is modified into thorn. So it is what organ? This is a climbing organ, but thorn is a defensive organ because it is protecting the plant from these animals, browsing animals. Okay, now let us come to this third one, phylloclades or photosynthetic stems. Photosynthetic stems. Actually, photosynthesis is the function of the leaf, and the only thing is that some plants are living in arid zones, means what dry zones, arid zones where there is scarcity of water. And in when they are growing in such areas, they have to conserve the water. Okay, and how to conserve the water? And you know that most of the water is wasted by the plants in the form of vapor, and we call that what transpiration. And this transpiration occurs through stomata, and these stomata are mainly concentrated in the leaves. So that's why what these plants have done is that their leaves are modified into spines. So these are spines. Of course, you are understanding. Spines are what? Leaf modification. Okay, and the problem is solved. So as the leaves are morphed into spines, so now transpiration is stopped. But one more problem arose. Means now the food problem. Who will prepare the food material? If the stem is as usual cylindrical, means what normal thin cylindrical structure, then it may be green in color, but the area is not sufficient. That's why what has happened in these plants, the stem is expanded, and this expanded green colored stem now starts what preparing the food material, and we are calling this as what the phylloclade. This is stem only, and generally many people mistake that as what leaf. That is not the leaf. These are the leaves which are modified into spines. And of course, just remember in Wapensia they are okay, flattened structures, flattened phylloclades, and in Euphorbia, another plant, Euphorbia, you will find their cylindrical phylloclades are present in Euphorbia. Okay, I hope now we got everything. That means we have completed this topic STEM. Okay, in 2 sessions.